my second question is about a topic that you touched on, which is the sort of disparity in relationships between institutions and engineers, right? Institutions, policymakers, engineers, and if we put a triptych in there of the actual tech as its own embodiment, right? And like, I work in IT, right? I work with computers. I don't work with AI closely, but I work with many data centers that host AI, so I understand roughly how it works. Now, excuse me, the thing that worries me the most is, because there are no governing rules on even just what you are supposed to create with the technology, with the resources at your hand, because the software and because the ability to create is open source, meaning anyone in the world can use it, anyone in the world can develop something, create something. What we have is a free-for-all that's generally capitalist in its nature, right? People want to create stuff to make money, generally.
Right.
And that's fine. But when you have something like a Facebook or a Twitter or an Amazon or a Google or something similar, and as you touched on, these companies care predominantly about their bottom line, less so about building a better society, whatever that is, as we've already said, or whether that be the happiness of our children. Right? Indeed, what they care about is a bottom line, and Mark Zuckerberg, for instance, going home with a better check than he went home with last year.
Yes.
So when we're determining our lives, and more, I find it become more and more apparent that humans are reliant on tech, and we are essentially, in my opinion, uploading our consciousness to tech. These people have a greater access to what it is to be human and are profiting off that. I feel that there is a vast problem with having very little to no idea of how that works, why that works, or what we should be doing to make it work, right?
I agree 100%. And again, I'll make another historical reference to sort of illustrate what I mean by historical thinking. This is an old problem, right? The most valuable commodity we all have is ourselves. It's not our money. It's not what's in the bank. It's who we are, right? We forget that, don't we? And throughout time, the urge of those with wealth has been to control other people's bodies in one form or another. Slavery, which is the original sin of American society, as well as others, is the most extreme form of this. Warfare, right? Warfare in various forms is a form of this. Servitude of other kinds. We can go through a whole long litany. Most societies have this in one way or another. We're a society today, or most of our societies, where people appear to be freer because we have more short-term choice in what we decide to do, where we go to school, what profession we want to go into. But precisely because of what you said, we have less control over the things that affect our bodies. The information that's coming into us, the images that are being put in front of us, the stimuli all around us. And of course, there have been a lot of studies of children, and they're being given messages if they're watching TV or they're on the web to purchase things they need, they don't need, right? And that's not a conspiracy. I think this is an old story, actually. And every society at a certain time has had to come up with ways of informing people of what is happening to their bodies and providing them, if they want to be a free society, with protections for their body. So that's why we have anti-slavery laws now, right? That's why we have laws that say you can't put children in a factory, at the age of 10 to work in a factory. And I think we're moving into the same kind of place in the way we think about information and data about our lives. You're absolutely right. I mean, right now, while we're recording, someone is getting this data on Zoom, and this is going somewhere, and there will be facial recognition software for you and I that will be far better, voice recognition, and that will be used for someone else's purposes, not our own. We need better protection over that. We need better information about where that's going, and there has to be better regulation of how our data is used by others. I completely agree with that. Our institutions have not even begun to ask the right questions. Where I think this will start to change, and you probably know more about this than I do, is where activists of different kinds with the technical knowledge, asking the right question, start to move in this direction. They might even make money right? Selling software and informing people about this. And then you'll see institutions grow around that, quasi-governmental, quasi-private, to help protect our data. But I worry quite a lot about this, and I think it's an area where, as you said, certain individuals are gaining an inordinate amount of influence over our lives without our even knowing it, and they're not necessarily people who have government titles. That's what's really scary about it too.
Yeah, and I have quite a pessimistic view on this actually, and my pessimistic view is that I believe it's too late in a lot of ways.